Hello everyone, welcome to SwitchUp. Today we're going to have a look at 10 of the games coming out on the Nintendo Switch in this upcoming week. A big thank you to Skillshare for sponsoring this video. The theme of this week seems to be blast from the past, with quite a few games that have been released on various consoles elsewhere, not necessarily just in the last couple of years, but from way back in the day as well. There are also a couple of free to download games coming out this week, and we'll look at those very briefly at the end. So is this week going to be a wallet buster? Well, let's find out. First up, coming out on the 23rd, we have Juke Nukem 3D 20th Anniversary World Tour. Now, Juke Nukem 3D originally came out in 1996. The 20th anniversary tagline is alluding to when this remaster released back in 2016. The enhancements made for this version include gyro aiming and HD rumble, being able to play the whole campaign with up to 8 players online, a deathmatch mode again playable online with up to 8 players, a new episode created by the original episode designers, a new weapon being added called the Incinerator, new music being added, and some new lines of dialogue having been recorded by the man himself, John St. John. It's quite funny to think that we now have Juke Nukem 3D, Doom 64, Turok 1 and Turok 2 all on the Switch. We certainly are partying like it's 1996 all over again. I know Mark's a big Juke Nukem fan and he'll be looking forward to this one. I myself played it back in the day and very much enjoyed it, and with 50% off of its price of £7.99 until the 6th of July, I may well jump in and pick this one up for that very tempting introductory price. Next up, and also on the 23rd, we have SpongeBob SquarePants Battle for Bikini Bottom Rehydrated, another game that came out a good few years ago, this one in 2003, on the original Xbox, the PlayStation 2 and the GameCube. This is a 3D platformer where you get to play as SpongeBob and some of his friends, and this remade version includes tweaks to the visuals, the resolution and the gameplay, a new horde mode for 2 players, either online or offline, and some restored content that was actually cut from the original game, including a boss battle. We will be reviewing this game on the channel, and that review will be out next week, so it'll be interesting to see how it plays in 2020. A big thank you to Skillshare for sponsoring this video. Skillshare is essentially an online learning community which offers thousands of inspiring classes for those looking to branch out and enhance their skills. The courses they offer come from a range of different topics, including things such as animation, fine art, graphic design, or film and video, to more business-oriented ones such as analytics, freelancing, or entrepreneurship. Now don't laugh, but a little hobby of mine is to build Lego models and create stop-motion videos of their construction, but unfortunately they always look, well, just a little bit janky. I searched stop motion on Skillshare and not only found a host of classes on the subject, but found Mark Morrison's Lego specific one called Brick Flicks. It's really helped me to pick up some tips on things such as keeping my model placement the same and also how many frames per second to work with. You can get all of this for less than $10 a month via an annual subscription, but also Skillshare have provided us with a link which can be found in the description to this video, entitling the first 1,000 people to use it to a 2-month free trial. It's a fantastic service and well worth having a look at. Anyway, now back to the list. Next, coming out on the 24th, we have a game called Night Call, which is published by Raw Fury, who have already published some very good games on the Switch. This one came out elsewhere last year, although I've never played it, but having just read the blurb on the eShop, it actually sounds very interesting. It talks of a serial killer stalking the streets of Paris, with you having almost been his most recent victim, albeit you escaped barely with your life. The gameplay is narrative driven, with you having to investigate, talk to people, and having 7 days to try and help the police find the killer. Reviews for the game seem to hover around the 60 to 70% mark, which is slightly disappointing to hear, but to be honest, I think the premise of this one sounds so interesting that I'd happily go in with an open mind and see for myself. The next game then coming out on the 25th, this is Blair Witch, based of course on the Blair Witch movies, the first of which came out in 1999, and I remember taking a girl to the cinema to watch it. This game is set straight after the events of the first film and came out on other consoles last year again. Now I'm going to be honest, I have completely kept away from anything to do with this game because I want to play it and I don't want anything spoilt. What I do know about it is that you play as a police officer with your dog and you are in the woods investigating the events, I think looking for a missing child. This comes from Bloober Team, who of course also made the Layers of Fear game, and I am pretty sure I'm right in saying that this game plays similarly to that one in respect of it being almost a walking simulator / horror game. Now I've been eyeing this one up on the PlayStation 4 for quite a while, like I said, and when I heard it was coming to the Switch, that's what made me hold off. Although having said that, it doesn't have a physical release yet, at least on the Switch, which really puts me off getting the Switch version. If you are not bothered about that though, it sells for £26.99 and also has 10% off of that price at launch. The next game is Brigandine, The Legend of Runersia, which is a sequel to a PlayStation game which was called Brigandine, The Legend of Forcina, I believe. Anyway, this is a turn-based strategy game where combat takes place on a hexagonal map. It seems to have high production values but with a price that comes along with it, £44.99. Although there is a demo available to download, so at least you can try before you buy, I suppose. Now this is the issue I have with digital stores in general. This game is £45 and has no physical release apart from one being done by Limited Run Games. Now £45 is a huge price to pay for a game that doesn't have a physical release, at least in my opinion. And whilst I do appreciate that digital gaming is the way it's going and lots of people enjoy that, I would never pay this much money for a digital game, ever, no matter how good it was. And I do wish games like this came with a physical release as standard. But anyway, moan over, this one is coming out on the 25th. The next game then is a game called Tower of Time, which is coming out on the 25th and has been out elsewhere since 2017. Now on first glance this looked very much like a game like Torchlight, an ARPG dungeon crawler, and it does mention that the battles are in real time, although it also mentions that you can slow or pause time to plan your battle moves out, a bit like you could in the Baldur's Gate games I suppose. It mentions there are 7 different classes to choose from and a skill system as well, plus equipment to find and craft, as well as things like enchantments that you can add to them. This has a good Metacritic score and the trailer certainly sells the game for sure, plus it's published by Digerati, another company who have released some very good games on the Switch so far. And next we have Mr. Driller Drillland from Bandai Namco, again coming out on the 25th. Now I've played some of the Mr. Driller games in the past. I had one on the Game Boy Advance I remember that I really enjoyed, sunk quite a lot of time into that one, but I'd never actually heard of this particular game. I assumed it was a new instalment in the series, but it actually came out in 2002 for the GameCube, albeit it was exclusive to Japan. This remaster then has updated the graphics and is now in high definition, has a series of multiplayer modes, as well as a new easy mode if that's something that you feel you need. It's selling for £15.99 and I'm sure there'll be a lot of people that will be intrigued by this one owing to the fact it never came out in the West. Then we have a game called Grimshade, which is a turn-based strategy game. Again, it came out last year elsewhere. You take on the role of a group of adventurers and it's set in the world of Reefer. Reefer, isn't that? Never mind. You have 7 characters to choose from, including a talking sniper badger. I suppose if you live in a land called Reefer, you'd be seeing sniper badgers everywhere. Anyway, let's move on. The characters develop by way of the equipment you give them, with each piece given offering the hero a particular skill. You can choose the squad you take into battle, and it promises that the turn-based battles will be complex and tactical, with positioning and awareness being essential to success. It sells for £17.99 and received middling review scores elsewhere, so that's something you may want to take into account. Just quickly then, a couple of free games coming out this week, or free to download at least. The first one is by Nintendo themselves. This is Pokemon Cafe Mix, which is a puzzle game where you need to twirl icons of Pokemon characters around in order to link them together. It has a really nice art style in terms of the character models, looks pastel drawn, and I'm sure many people will sink 10 minutes here and there into a game such as this. Now it does say it offers in-game purchases. I'm assuming it will be in the form of stars or moons or balls or hearts, something that you purchase to enable you to play a bit longer. That's generally how the free-to-play model works, I believe, and if you're interested, this one comes out on the 24th. Then just quickly as well, you have Ninjala, which is an online battling game where you can play competitively or cooperatively in battle royale type matches. I thought this was already out on the Switch. Maybe that was an online test mode or a trial, I'm not sure. You play as a bubblegum toting ninja, and the style of the game looks very much like something like Splatoon. Again, it offers in-game purchases. I don't know whether they'll be essential to the gameplay or just cosmetic. Again, if you are interested, that may be one to have a look at. So that's it for this week then. Is it a wallet buster? I don't know about that, but I would definitely pick up Juke Nukem. Nightcall looks great for me, and Blair Witch, albeit I'd get the physical on the PlayStation 4 at some point. Sorry if you can hear some background noise with this one. I had an hour to record this when everyone was out of the house, and of course then the binman turned up and parked their truck right outside my door. So I'll try to reduce that background noise if I can. A big thank you to Skillshare for sponsoring this video. Please do check out the link that will be in the description and in the top pinned comment to make sure you are one of the first 1,000 people to get that 2-month free trial. It really is worth checking out. Thank you to our Patreons as always for your continued support, and to each and every one of you for watching our videos. Take care, stay safe, and until next time, happy gaming.